Good afternoon, good morning. It's Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. Want to welcome you back to another edition of Loyalty Live. In this series, we talk to the leading agencies, technology partners, and consultants in customer channel and brand loyalty about the technology trends and best practices that impact a brand's ability to drive unique experiences, enhance engagement, and most importantly, impact customer loyalty. It allows for a unique and deep assessment of customer loyalty because we get to surface challenges that we see from our quotidian operation at Loyalty360, our day-to-day operation, and we get to get feedback from these leading technology partners, the agencies, with regard to how they would solve them or how they are solving with their current clients. So today we have Jeff Lambert, who's the founder and chief executive officer at TiiCKER. Jeff, how are you today?
I'm great. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us today. We'd like to start these on a more personal level, so we'd love to know a little bit about yourself, your current role with TiiCKER, maybe your background before that.
Sure. Started a marketing and investor relations agency in my basement 25 years ago, and been doing kind of those two sides of the house, the talking to investors and talking to consumers from a marketing channel, and could never really figure out how to bring those people together. Every investor is a consumer. Every consumer is a potential investor in a public company, and so started a platform called TiiCKER with two I's, TiiCKER, and TiiCKER connects public companies to their individual investors. And so I've been doing it for a long time and decided to start over and be a startup founder.
Okay, great. A fun fact, something you may enjoy outside of running TiiCKER and running other kind of entities before.
Well, yeah, so I'm several. I'm a competitive person. I got a tattoo to win a scavenger hunt. But my favorite one is I'm in the process of trying to get a term to replace pivot in the dictionary because it's overused. And so you heard it here first, flip turn. So a swimming flip turn, you go in a different direction, but you never lose any speed. So flip turn is the new pivot.
Okay, good to know that. I have swimmers. My wife was a swimmer. My one daughter's going to swim at Bowling Green next year. So nice. I know a little bit about swimming, not that much, but so I like the idea of flip turn. That's good. For those who may not be familiar with TiiCKER, you talked about a little bit kind of what you guys do and how you bring the disparate audiences together. Can you give us a brief overview of your company, you know, what you do, how you do it, and industries that you work with?
Sure. You know, we're really cross-industry, but it's really for public companies and the consumer investors who own their stock or want to own their stock. And that's really what we bring together for the first time is a platform where these public company marketers or loyalty leaders, there's this underlooked, under-tapped audience that's 130 million Americans own stock. On individual stock. So almost 50% of Americans have a self-directed or individual brokerage account. And the public companies, those marketers, have never been able to actually reach them. So who's more loyal than your owners? But we really create a platform to market to them. And so we do it through our platform and both Android and iOS apps. And that really is the business is to unlock your largest untapped audience in individual investors or retail investors that exist in the millions in these public companies.
Okay. When you look at customer loyalty is very important to us, and obviously be very important to you as well. It's in how you kind of bring these two groups together. But we'd like to know how people define customer loyalty. So we'd love to know how you define customer loyalty and what customer loyalty means to TiiCKER.
Yeah, so I think customer loyalty ultimately begins with how connected are you to the brand or the company, and that's why we really believe that owners are your most loyal audience. You actually took money, you bought a piece of the company, and so it's loyalty comes in many forms. But loyalty is they're looking for the connection, and ownership should have its privileges. It just doesn't because of how regulations are set up to make most investors, most people like you and me, and anyone listening who owns any stock, you are completely invisible to those companies that you own. So you would love to be loyal, and most likely you are and want to be. 8 in 10 investors will shop the companies that they own or shop the brands. And so that's really unlocking that audience. So customer loyalty is human nature. It's just never been applied to an investor audience.
Okay. When you look at customer loyalty, customer experience, you obviously provide a nice conduit for the brands themselves, even though it's a nascent audience for you. How do you help brands kind of build their customer loyalty and customer experience? Can you give us a couple of examples of things that are working kind of in your offering?
Sure. There's kind of the standard, just like any other loyalty or rewards platform, there's discounts on products. So shareholder discounts are probably the most effective and connecting. A good example, Whirlpool, but not just Whirlpool products. Whirlpool is a house of brands. So KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool are all part of that portfolio. And if you own a single share of Whirlpool, you get discounts on their products. So that's probably the most effective is discounts on the brands that you own. Wolverine Worldwide owns Merrell Footwear, and Hush Puppies, and Cat Footwear, and Sebago. All those brands, if you own Wolverine stock, you get a discount. The second is VIP access or experiences. So car shows or movie premieres or new product samples from a Real Good Foods, which does better for you frozen food. You get access to products before they're out. And then the tie in directly to your audience in loyalty is for a reward or perk, a shareholder discount. It can be points in your Marriott Bonvoy or points in your Delta Airlines or Lowe's loyalty program. And so it can immediately and integrate perfectly into your rewards. So this can just be another layer of you shopped my store, you spent X amount of dollars, and you're a shareholder, you qualify for the gold level of rewards. And so it fits seamlessly. And that's the key thing, is we validate ownership. So this isn't just I think they're a shareholder. They connect a brokerage account, any brokerage account that you have connected to our platform, and it says, yes, you own 10 shares of Whirlpool, you qualify for a dishwasher at 30% off. And that's real value.
Excellent. And when you look at metrics are very important, both from a ROI, return on your investment, your stock portfolio, investment portfolio, but also for your customer loyalty and customer experience efforts. How do you advise your clients? What specific KPIs or benchmarks do you use for your brands to kind of measure the efficacy of their efforts?
Yeah, so we because you're linking your brokerage account, we have information about not only the stock that you own in that brand, but also other stocks, which also gets to your interests. So there's a high correlation, again, 8 and 10 in ownership in stocks and the brands that you shop or love. And so that high correlation allows you to say, well, you own Ford, you probably are interested in a car lots discount for a newer used vehicle. And so the ability to target gives us that measurement. So we can tell our clients not only how many owners on their stock they have, how many shares they own, but also how much they spend. We think that's a new metric that we're creating, which is shareholder lifetime value. How much stock do they own? How long have they held it? And how much do they spend over that period of time? And so we believe there's a direct ROI for a campaign with TiiCKER in terms of sales through those brands.
Okay. When you look at new technology, the MarTech landscape just came out, I think last week, 10,000 different MarTech technologies. Is there a technology, a trend, or maybe even an idea? Obviously, this is a pretty significant idea that you believe is important for brands to be considering or potentially even focusing on with regard to their customer loyalty efforts.
Yeah, I think that there's obviously the trend or the desire for first party data. How do you get people to come to you and give you their information? And in this scenario, they are already owners in your company. They want to opt in. They want to say, yes, I would love a perk, a discount from that company that Starbucks or Nike or McDonald's that I own. And there's a presumption that you know who they are and that you actually don't. And so I think the trend really is this information gap. Everything has gotten more difficult to target and to find people. And like, with first party data, this is first party data sitting out there in, again, 130 million retail investors, and larger brands have 1 million, 2 million, 5 million investors who are all consumers, and all could be more connected to your brand simply by finding them and building a relationship.
Excellent.
I think it's very relevant. I mean, I think it's a new marketing audience. So you look at the different targeting audiences that you can do. There's no platform that you can actually reach your retail investors, even though, again, it's in the tens and hundreds of millions.
Right. Good point. So when you look at the opportunity for brands, how would you, recommend the brands improve, enhance, augment their customer loyalty or customer experience strategies? Obviously, it would be leveraging technology like yours or similar technology that would allow them to understand who their customers are.
Yeah, I think I think there's a now that we can all be back together and the return of in-person meetings or experiences and events, I think that's one of the areas where brands can build more affinity and longer term loyalty is through those experiences or VIP access. So not just for public companies, but for any brand, access to their team, access to their celebrity spokespeople, access to their races or events that they're already sponsoring. And so I think that there's a growing opportunity for people who want to be in the flesh and have VIP access, not just in the seat that they sit on the plane, but what access can their American Airlines or Delta or Alaska Airlines benefit give them. So I think that one of the pieces of advice that we find is experiences, VIP access. We have a client that does a perk that's sit courtside with the CEO at a Miami Heat basketball game. That kind of a thing is very compelling, and you feel special, and you again retell that story, which is part of the that connectivity. We're all micro influencers, and how does that experience then ripple effect in their network?
That makes sense. Well, and last question, what can Loyalty360 do to help you and your team and potentially others with regard to their customer loyalty or customer experience efforts?
Yeah, I think that, we had a great first conference. We were introduced to you all actually by a client of ours, and they've been a longtime member and said, you got to get connected to loyalty. And we've been talking to CEOs and CFOs and CMOs, really the marketing side, but hadn't made the connection to loyalty that you all did for us. And so we had a great conference, built a lot of relationships. And I think that the biggest thing that you can do for us is get the word out. This is a rewards and loyalty category that is brand new. And I think 10 years from now, people will be talking about, you'll have heads of shareholder loyalty in companies because of the large number and the affinity. So again, take some of your award-winning rewards programs like a Sleep Number or an AMC. They have 5-10x the number of shareholders that they do in the rewards program today. And that's really the exciting thing, is this is untapped, and you all can help us get the word out. That's really what it is. It's an audience that's never been identifiable before, because marketing doesn't talk to investor relations, and investor relations doesn't talk to marketing, and we build that bridge of every investor is a consumer.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, very interesting to hear about your platform. Looking forward to learning more about some of the opportunities that you're going to be seeing over the next 6 to 12 months. And thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thanks, Mark. And I really got to up my memorabilia game. Every time I talk to you, I'm just always impressed. So shout out to you.
Yeah, it's I hid my Broncos because they're kind of out right now. Yeah,
been a rough start.
Yeah, it's been. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today. Great to hear what you are doing. And like I said, look forward to hearing more. And thank you everyone else for joining today, and join us back for another edition of our Loyalty Live coming up. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Mark.